If there's one thing that we've learned over the past decade and the 18 films that make up the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's this: audiences love their comic book movies. Even the bad ones are pretty good. But as Shuri in Black Panther points out, just because something works doesn't mean it can't be improved. Enter Erik Killmonger. Like Shuri upgrading T'Challa's new suit, Black Panther may have finally fixed Marvel's long-running villain problem. We've undoubtedly enjoyed the last decade of Marvel films, but that was in spite of most of the villains. That changed with Black Panther. We adore it because of its villain, the compelling, complex, and tragic Erik Killmonger. Here's a fun experiment. Let's take a look at the villains from the past decade of Marvel films. Now, try to name as many of these villains as possible. It's harder than you thought, right? Like me, you probably struggled to name more than a handful. That's because more often than not, Marvel's villains are completely disposable. The bad guys and girls are just that, bad. Nothing more, nothing less. Some yearn for world domination, while others are just an evil mirror image of their heroic counterparts, like this abomination. How many people remember what this guy's motivations were? Or this guy? Could you relate to him?
I only ask that you take this matter seriously.
Overall, they are underwhelming, except for a few. Loki, of course. I'd also throw in Zemo and Vulture. And with Black Panther, Erik Killmonger. There are a lot of things that can differentiate a good villain. Sometimes they believe they're the hero of their own story. A great villain may force our hero to question themselves and to change their actions for the better. Or they might make us reflect on our own beliefs and convictions as an audience. But all great villains share one thing in common. Their motivations are more than just destroy the whole world or kill the hero. That's what it really boils down to. Great villains are complex because real people are complex, and it's easier to relate to characters that seem real. There are plenty of examples of this. Take the Joker. He may be an agent of chaos, but in his best incarnations, he doesn't want to rule Gotham or kill Batman. He wants to bring Batman down to his level because, let's face it, Batman is kind of full of himself. That's relatable.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
Here's another example. Kylo Ren. Sure, Ben Solo wants to attain power and kill the good guys, but why does he want that? Maybe it's because his family failed him, his dad's a bum, and his uncle tried to kill him in his sleep, but he craved acceptance. So he turned to the legacy of his grandfather just to have something to hold on to. That's relatable. Now, this can only happen when a movie places an equal investment in the antagonist story as it does with the protagonist. You need to emphasize nuance into the character, making it tough for the audience to decide where their loyalties lie. In other words, you don't just invert the hero's story and copy and paste it onto the villain. You treat the villain like a hero.
You lost someone.
I lost everyone.
Now, in the case of Black Panther, the filmmakers did exactly that. They invested in Erik Killmonger. His motivations were clear. He saw injustice in the world, both on a personal level and in the larger sense. And he believed that Wakanda could help. He was right, even if his solution to the problem was wrong. Just look at how much time they spent establishing Killmonger's story. The movie begins with Erik's father, N'Jobu, sharing the tale of Wakanda to a young Eric Stevens. We're then introduced to Erik playing hoops on an Oakland blacktop. Eventually, we learn that Erik grew up without a father. His entire worldview focuses sharply through a lens of pain, rejection, and abandonment. And in what seems like an entire world away, T'Challa, the Black Panther, was born into a royal family with an overabundance of resources, wealth, and privilege. But by the end of the film, it's T'Challa that learns a valuable lesson from Killmonger. T'Challa is forced to address his own morals, to right the wrongs of past kings, to reach out across the world and help others, breaking a tradition of isolationism, all because of Killmonger. So where does that leave us with Infinity War on the horizon? Well, the unfortunate part about teasing Thanos' arrival since 2012's Avengers is that it ultimately undermined each of the villains before him. When we all know the big bad purple guy is waiting at the end, there isn't much at stake for our heroes.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
When speaking with Collider, Marvel's Kevin Feige had some revealing comments on Thanos' role in the film. Quote, "You could almost go so far as to say that he is the main character, and that's a bit of a departure from what we've done before, but that was appropriate for a movie called Infinity War." End quote. So unlike the majority of Marvel's films in the past decade, Infinity War is investing in its villain. And that's good news, but we'll have to wait and see if they execute the vision. Marvel has the profound challenge of not only making this villain's philosophy convincing to an audience, but also treating him like the hero of his own story. At the very least, let's hope Thanos has a more relatable motive than simply wanting to rule the galaxy. Thanks for watching, guys. What did you think of Erik Killmonger in Black Panther? And where does he rank amongst your all-time favorite villains? Let me know in the comments below. For the latest on all things Marvel, including Avengers Infinity War, keep it right here on GameSpot Universe. We'll see you next time.